Okay. 1 second. Okay, I should be live now. Okay, so yeah, again, so we're going to be doing the same thing as last week, some world building. We've got a bit more of a plan though this week. We're going to work on some of the modern day events of Taangali. One second. Hello, Professor Beth. It's good to see you again. Okay, so today we're doing. No, I have not figured the music out. I'm honestly not sure how I would. So yeah, so today we're going to be working on more of the history of Taangali. We're going to be looking at some of the things we already know and building on that as we so choose. So something I noticed is in the video, it talks about, when it's talking about everything that the world used to be. It says a gladiator world for the vassal of the Kathagi Empire. And it also later in the video mentioned the Kathagi pretenders, which I just thought it was interesting. So that could be something we could think of. So yeah, so we'll just have a look through what we've got written down right now. So it used to, I wrote down it used to be a gladiator world and vassal for the Kathagi Empire because so the Kathagi pretenders, it doesn't say much about them. All it really says is the last of the Kathagi pretenders is dead and they were slain by a road warrior. Maximilianists, another group that it mentions, believe this person to be their messiah. And they believe this person to be their messiah. Which, well, no, more than implies it. Aflamed? What does that mean? What about it? So, we know that the Maximilianists, they don't just hate the Kathagi pretenders, they are well, presumably religiously opposed, but in some way, because temples in every city-state are calling for a new crusade, which implies that there was a crusade before. Implies previous crusades. No, I don't think so. But yeah, this is the Kusagi Pretenders. The last one is dead. I assume the Pretenders mean that, what's it called? I assume that means that they aren't, that their claim to the throne is dubious at best. And so the calls for the crusade have reignited clashes with the servants of the Toad God. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds fun. And many believe that the seventh motor insurrection is finally underway. So this begs several questions. What is an insurrection? What is a motor insurrection? And what were the 6 ones before it about? Insurrection. Just searching up insurrection now. Crusade could be trying to bring the planet together under the Cathalic's. No, because the Maximilianists are calling for the crusade. And it seems like they hate the Taangali Pretenders. So I think, if anything, it's by the Maximilianists to try and get rid of the Taangali Pretenders. Or maybe it's nothing to do with the Taangali Pretenders and they just Maximilian. Yeah, I'm sure, but I don't think that's related. I think it's more of a coincidence. Maximilian. Yeah, there are quite a few Maximilians. There's Maximilian I of the Holy Roman Empire. There was a Maximilian Archduke of Austria and Emperor of Mexico. Yeah, they're the two that are coming up. The two Maximilians. So an insurrection, an organized attempt by a group of people to defeat their government and take control of their country, usually by violence. So we are not making the Maximilianists worship Maximilian Robespierre. No, not that. That dude was weird. He was wild. I guess hello, Lightbolt. You haven't missed much. Right now I'm just going through, I've made some notes on what we know from the video so that we can get to work on some of the history. And first of all, they're presumably insurrecting against superpowers in the what's it called? Superpowers in the region. So that would presumably be the Kusagi Pretenders. And maybe some other kingdoms. And maybe it's the people with the citizens within these empires. No one's in control of the whole planet, but people do control city-states, maybe even multiple city-states. So seventh motor interaction. What is motor insurrection? What were the 6 ones before it? So yeah, with the last Taangali emperor, Maximilianists were supposed to be the followers of Maximilian Mad Max Rokitansky. Like, oh, that's. I don't know who Mad Max is. I've never seen that film. But we could work. That's something we could work with. So is that like someone like crazy, sort of guns a-blazing kind of dude? So I really want to figure out what's going on with the Toad God. Really, that sounds like a fun mystery. So Maximilian, just gonna make a note somewhere down here. Motorist insurrection could be an anarchist group aiming to take down all governments or people trying to take over the world alongside the Crusades and the Kazaki pretenders. I don't think they're trying to take over the world, but like the way they were talking about it in the video, like so the way it was is with the new crusade and the clashes with the Toad God and the collapse of the Kazaki Empire, many believe the seventh motor insurrection is finally underway. So I think it's like a bigger movement. It could have like a group at the center of it. Yeah, I think Maximilianists following a specific person or philosophy is a good idea. And they definitely seem like a more religious group. Like they use a lot of religious terms like Messiah, temple, crusade. They fight with the servants of the Toad God, which could be some sort of religious, what's it called? Disagreement, but not disagreement. Maximilian. Followers of a Mad Max type figure. From a person or a person's philosophy. Maximilianist is a cult that was an offshoot. Oh, you've already. Oh, that works. Okay, so offshoot of the Brotherhood of Muscle. Yeah. So could the Brotherhood of Muscle and the Maximilianists, could that be why why they say motor interaction? Would that be? Okay, I'm just gonna try and find like when you were talking about that Brotherhood of Muscle. Okay. Did you large-scale war among the road-centric factions? Yeah, possibly. Or could be some kind of attempt for these factions, or what's it called? It could be an attempt for these factions or convoys to try and take control as the GredtheAceAllay Empire is falling. It's going to leave a big power vacuum, isn't it? So there could be an ensuing fight to try and fill it. So you've got the motor insurrection, and then later on they mention the city-state of Glass Wall and Taangali. The Brotherhood would probably try to seize power to keep some semblance of stability in the region. Yeah, that's what they talk about later on. So this, in the video they said only the city-states of Glass Wall and Taangali retain the strength to prevent the entire East Coast from descending into anarchy. So yeah, it could be something like that. Let me just motor insurrection. Seven motor insurrection. An attempt by the Brotherhood of Muscle. There would probably be a few more city-states in those two. Yeah, but what if there probably would be, yeah. What if these two, Glass Wall and Taangali, what if they're sort of like America and Russia Cold War sense? Like there would be other powers, but these are the two most powerful powers, and they are also directly opposed, like adamantly opposed. Attempt by the Brotherhood of Muscle to take control of the region and to seize power and try to keep some semblance of stability in the region. Large-scale war among road-centric factions. So, yeah, probably. I don't know much about like post-Soviet. The most I learned about the Cold War was like one 5-minute video. So you might want to like, I don't know, speedy rundown. So, so the GredtheAceAllay Empire, it seems to they seem to have been the dominant power in the region. So it could have been like a single superpower, and a bunch of former military warlords attempting to take what little power remains in the region. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. That sums it up nicely. So the GredtheAceAllay Empire could have been the major superpower in the region, controlling or at least influencing the majority of the East Coast. And then as they fall, slain by a road warrior, which we can call him Dave, no, maybe not Dave, but slain by a road warrior, that leaves a large power vacuum, which many people, most notably Glasswall and Delhali, but also a lot of other factions, are all trying to take as much power as they can. Post-Soviet power grab. Bunch of former military warlords attempting to take up what little power remains in the region. Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea, or good basis of what the seventh motor insurrection is. Allow us to build up on that, and would probably give us an idea of what the first to fifth motor insurrections are. That allow us to build upon those as well. But so the Maximilianists have had crusades before, and like this crusade presumably is separate to the insurrections. So are these crusades, are they against specifically the Taangali, or are they just an attempt by the Maximilianists to get more power in the region? So we've got we've got an idea of the Maximilianists. Well, no, not really. We've got. How much have you got on the Maximilianists? Like, did you write much about them? Most likely the latter. Okay, forgotten what that was for now. Oh yeah. Yes, yes. Crusades. We can figure out exactly how many crusades there have been. Or what could be fun? What could be fun is that no one actually agrees on how many, because some people say that things were crusades when others say no, that wasn't a crusade, it didn't really count. So that could be a fun thing to play with. Could lead to splintering within the Maximilianists themselves, as people argue, because people love to argue. Like the number of crusades is exactly the kind of thing people could get into an argument about. Some people claim hundreds while others claim none, whichever is best for current politics. That works. It is usually an attempt by the Maximilianists to gain more power and influence in the region. No one really agrees with how many there have been, arguing anywhere from hundreds to none, depending on your definition of a crusade. Let's say the effective effectiveness of these crusades has been greatly hindered by the Taangali Empire, hindered and restricted by the Taangali Empire. So this could be the root of why it's like most of the disagreement. Some people say it was a crusade, even though it's a potential location for the empire in the cartography on the server. Yeah, I'll have a look now. Cartography. So whereabouts were you thinking? Oh, yeah, there. I was imagining more like on the continent, but yeah, that could work. Yeah. So like the what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Taangali. I've lost my train of thought now. Okay. So basically, the idea was to have it on like a large island, or not really, but like a large island sort of thing. 1 minute, I'll see if I can get it up. A minute. Okay. I think I know how to. So can you see my mouse? I can't remember if you can. If you can, it's like this little landmass here. It would, yeah, it would make sense for some more powerful. Yeah, it would make sense for some more powerful blades to appear in this region. Although they don't have a lot of connection. So, but in terms of naval, they have to have a much bigger focus on naval assets. So this could be the main source of division with, yeah, there's a small like land bridge kind of connecting it to the mainland, but it's not much. Any trade through there would be heavily restricted. But it does sort of inherently make it more defendable too, in a way. This is some accomplish very little due to the efforts of the Taangali and many argue that these do not count. Yeah, they would have to have large and powerful navies if they were to live on really any of the islands. Yeah, there could be something. Yeah, there could be something like this. So this is this island. That's where you've got the. Let me see. Oh yeah, for the Cathalgi Empire here. Were you thinking? Is this the Cathalgi Empire? Wait, no, you said, didn't you? Yes, it is. Yeah, so like this would be their like main focus of power, but they would have further what's it called? Like outposts and strongholds along the coast, wouldn't they? Because and presumably we can if the core of the Cathalgi Empire if the fall of the Cathalgi Empire is a world-shaking event alongside the curse and the motor insurrection, what others would have to be the others would have to be quite spread out. What do you mean the curse? What's that again? So it does say that Western fortresses and the Crusade. I mean, it's not world-shaking event. It's a very significant event in the East Coast. So that's sort of what we're the region this is all taking place is in the East Coast, which is probably, I would say, this big chunk of land. Like cut it here. I'd say this is the east. Maybe we could go a bit further. So it would be like this whole region. And it talks like it says so the western fortresses have been abandoned and the containment of the Jabberwocky Waste has stopped. So dams and levees are broken, mudmen, kellyfolk, and hundreds more creatures have been spotted in the neighbouring swamps. So I think like a place that would be pretty good for the Jabberwocky Waste could be around here, next to or between all these lakes, these big inland seas. Because would they? I think they'd count as seas, yeah. So probably somewhere. You think the Jabberwocky Waste? Does that seem like a good location? Which are directly in the center of that landmass. 1 minute, let me just, it was mentioned. I forgot to write it down, but I think that's where the thunder sharks came, wasn't it? Climate map. Big red section. Ah, yeah, I see. So that's where so the thunder sharks are a prime convoy, but they've been basically barred from from the east coast by the Cathalgi Empire and several other kings, presumably several other factions. But with the fall of the Cathalgi Empire, they've started to advance again. Let me just Wait, could it be part of the motor instruction? I think they're separate from it. Maybe a driving force. Hilarious. Okay, so the hammerhead waist, the big red thing, so it's like about here-ish, isn't it? So I suppose that is an amazing joke. But so it's about the hammerhead waist about here, aren't they? And let me just, what did it say about the toxic step? Geological waste. So yeah, so they're heading east. So if they're heading along the east coast. So if the hammerhead wastes are here, then the top step could be this region here, maybe. I wish I could. 1 second, I think I can get this climate map. Just give me a second, I can get the climate map here. There. So this about militant rival to the Brotherhood. The militant rival to the Brotherhood. I propose that it got its name from the graveyard of crashed hammerhead ships that are in it. Hammerhead ships? Are they? What are they? Wait, what would they be? One minute. Roadmap. This is this K and BWK. Oh, wait. Oh, hello. Hello, Naoko. Welcome to the Taangali Waste. We're like building this, like, what's it described as? Apocalyptic science fantasy, I think it was. So this is the Hammerhead Waste. I think this region is a toxic step. It's described as such. In the climate map, that's what these colors mean. So we've got a little bit on the 7th motor insurrection. We've got some stuff talking about the Maximilianists and the Crusade. Let's say Thunder. So Also, thanks for the follow, Noacle. I appreciate it. So, how much do you know about the Taangali waste? So, right now, did you see the Temple Institute video, or have you just come across this stream randomly? So, I'm thinking. So, Percival, what do you, and Noacle too. Yeah, I'm good, Noacle. Thank you for asking. Okay, so we want to start thinking about what are we looking at? So this is the climate map of Taangali. Thunder sharks. Foreign convoy. And militant rival to the Brotherhood of Muscle. Looks like they're trying to place important law region on. I guess sort of. I'm just because this has been we've already decided that this red region is the Hammerhead Waste. So I was just thinking that as such, this could potentially be the toxic step. But what do you think? For the show. Presumably enemies to the Taangali Empire and their allies. Why they couldn't get to the east coast. So it was, yeah. And Fort Marvin's machine in the Five Cities War. We do not know what the Five Cities War is. We do know what Marvin's blood machine is. Well, we know sort of what it is. Convoy of these guys and psychopaths. Yes, Percival. It probably was a war, and I'm willing to bet that it involved 5 cities. And at least 2 convoys, the Thunder Sharks and the Marvin's group. And so they are Marvin's blood machine are coming down from the north, rejuvenated from the High Point massacre, which you can I think we might be able to assume that. No, I was going to say we might be able to assume that that came at the end of the Five Cities War, but maybe not, because they did. So Eager, they did. They did just do very well. Because the Five Cities War involved 5 cities calling in prime convoys to take their sides, as logistics in the way would be almost impossible without the help of convoy. Yeah, but it would also be what's it called? It wouldn't just be logistics. It would also be our soldiers and fighting as well. Because the prime convoys are huge. They have hundreds of thousands of vehicles. And I said in the videos, yeah, so it's rare that prime convoys take a side in rivalries of city-states, but it does happen. Just so I made a little note about that there. So this could be one of these events. Yep, no one knows in the way to select the convoys. So 5 cities war involves 5 cities, and also the prime convoys what's it called? Yeah, the Thunder Sharks and Marvin's Blood Machine. Marvin's Blood Machine did very well against the Thunder Sharks. This could be why the Thunder Sharks haven't been in the region for generations. Like this war could have pushed them out. No, because like convoys have existed for probably almost as long as the wastes have, so like a very, very long time. But what's it called? I don't imagine that the 5 Cities War was incredibly long ago, maybe a few generations ago. So Marvin's Blood Machine did very well against the Thunder Shark. We could say, like, what's it called? We could say that the High Point Massacre was related to the 5 Cities War, or maybe it came after, shortly after. So perhaps the reason why the Thunder Sharks haven't been able to enter the region for generations. So Thundershocks, operating on the East Coast for the first time in generations, passing through empty cities and slowly traveling through the toxic steppe. So if they're doing that, and if this is the toxic steppe and these are the hammerhead wastes, then the Thundershocks would be heading up. And then that would mean that Marvin's blood machine, which is coming down from the north, I think it says. Yeah, coming down from the north. Do not eat the toxic steppe. It's toxic. So if Marvin's blood machine is coming down from the north, and Thundershocks is coming up, that is traveling through the east coast now. Oh, that's not good. Let me know if it gets any better, because I'm not sure how good my mic is either. I'm not sure how good my connection is, to be fair. We'd probably take the secondary northern route to get to the east. Who would the Marvin's blood machine or the Thundershocks? And what secondary northern route? What the Thundershocks? Sorry, what were you thinking? Because you said these were like this red bit, didn't you? With the hammerhead wastes, which I think is where the Thundershocks came from. North of the huge lake. So you're thinking up here. Are you? So you're thinking they take like a route up here? Yeah. Do you mean like they're taking this route and coming down? Or they're going up to this bit? Oh wait, are you saying they go round the lakes and then come down that way? So you're thinking are they starting up here and then coming down? Or are they starting here, going round the lake and coming down? Yeah, I thought they were here too. I mean, we could just move them. Like, it's our world, isn't it? We get to decide who goes where. Okay, so what else do we still have to look at? We haven't looked at glass wall or that's where they end up. Oh no, so they end up in the red bit. They start up in the north. and Marvin's Blood Machine are also starting up in the north. Let me have a look. Operating me because for the first time in generations. So it's making its way through the bastions of the toxic depth. They're exiled to the west of the continent for some time. So yeah, so they're in traveling, probably operating around this area, around these lakes. Or will you pitch fictions even more west? Because like this bit is sort of like the center of the continent. So this is like the center, so they could have been exiled even further west, couldn't they? Yes, on the fringe of Brotherhood territory around the lakes, yeah. Okay, so this is where the Thunder Sharks operate. Let's see. Exiled to the west around the lakes on the fringe of Brotherhood territory. So yeah, we've got what's it called? Thunder Sharks here, traveling down this way. We've got Marvin's Blood Machine up here somewhere, traveling down. We've got the Kathagi Empire here. Does the Brotherhood of Muscle operate around most of this area? Most of this big chunk of land? Yeah. So they operate most of this from the east coast to the lakes. We could give these big, well, not really lakes, they're seas, aren't they? But, well, whatever they are. Yeah, all over the eastern half of the continent. So is there 1 minute? So then there's Glasswall and Del Harley, which seem to be the emerging powers of the continent post Cathargi collapse. Glasswall, Del Harley. And then there are also the what's it called? The gladiator kings fighting each other. So there are a bunch of warlords from the leftover from the empire, all scrambling for control. Let me just Cathargi Empire. Perhaps one of them was like the former Soki state. a subsidiary state that remains whole and develops into an independent nation after its ruling. So you think maybe one of them could be a former Taangali state? I'm imagining glades being like the size of a city. Some bigger, with room for like farmland and stuff, and then obviously some a lot smaller, down to maybe the size of a village. How big are they to you? How big were you thinking? Because the video does describe large cities with sprawling farmland for some of the larger glades. So, Taangali Empire. I'm not sure how. I'll have to look at how big Rhode Island is. Rhode Island. Oh, you're boarding. Okay, have a nice flight. I hope everything goes well to you. I understand flights can be very stressful, so definitely good luck. Imagine an enormous resource-rich glade that no one has inhabited because everyone is so busy fighting over it. Okay, that could be interesting actually. Okay, I'm just gonna have a look at how big Rhode Island is. Okay, yeah, I don't imagine many much bigger than that, or like a dog bigger. I think that's a good idea for the absolute biggest glades. So yeah, 1 minute. So Taangali Empire, former dominant superpower along the east coast. Controlled, had lots of influence and many allies. What do we say? Did it provided security and stability to the region, keeping the different factions somewhat in check. Not completely, obviously, but like the motor insurrections, the crusades, keeping them all from destabilizing the region. And then, yes, at the cost of freedom. At the cost of freedom. Also, the resources, not security. Imagine them providing like a little bit of both. Because they'd also be dependent on importing resources from other cities But with them, because like I imagine they're the biggest power. They were the biggest power in the region. So, like in this world, it's sort of stopping, yeah, mostly naval security, mostly naval resources and stability, keeping the different factions somewhat in check at the cost of freedom. Also, the occasional slave for the gladiators. What do you think about that? Because it did mention that it, like, gladiator world for the Carthage Empire, and then later it says gladiator king. Land security would be dominated predominantly by the predominantly neutral Brotherhood. Yeah. What's the relationship between the Brotherhood and the Empire? Gladiatorial combat. Because these two, the two biggest powers in the region, like the Brotherhood and the Carthage Empire, strained neutrality. Yeah, there is a strained relationship. Let me just, mostly trading. But in terms of a scale from positive to negative, like from very positive to very negative, what would you put the relationship at, would you say? Because there's been a historically strained like tense relationship between convoys and city-states, with fights often breaking out between them. And while prime convoys generally generally don't take the side of rivalries, generally somewhat neutral with some spatterings of hostility. They are generally somewhat neutral. Some spatterings of hostility. Perhaps like America and Russia. The one real glade, so you mean for the Brotherhood, is a fallout-style burnt-out city. So food is something they need from a food-rich empire. Yeah. So you'd say provides a lot of the Brotherhood's food. Would you say that works? If given the first chance to surreptitiously harm the other, would they do it? No. By saying no to passive effort to me. Sure. I probably shouldn't be silent for this long. I don't think it would. Persa. Okay. So what do you think about this? Provides a lot of the Brotherhood's food. Do you see that? It is yours, isn't it? Yeah. Your little convoy. That works. Yeah. Okay. And then, because the Carthage Empire is largely naval based, because the Carthage Empire is largely naval based, imagine the Brotherhood would help provide a lot of their land trade, because they'd be limited mostly function to justice. So whenever possible, they prefer to help rather than harm. So the Taangali Empire would mostly be restricted to coastal cities. So the Brotherhood would probably give them a lot more connections inland, and probably enable them to have inland fortresses. Would you say? Does that sound about right? Oh wait, Deemhan Lee's back. Thanks for the follow. Yes, that was Ed. Yeah, okay. The Brotherhood in return provides a lot of the land trade for the Empire and enables them to maintain more inland blades. Yeah, okay. Just like general simple notes. We don't have a lot on Marvin's Blood Machine, or anything on Glasswall and Del Harley. Del Harley, I think it is. Yeah, Del Harley. So, do you think there's anything else that needs to be written down for the Taangali Empire before we move on? Right, and anything like these are just the barest notes. Yeah, not really. We could probably do like something more detailed at some point in the future, but for a general idea, I think this is a good start. So what do you want to look at next? We could do Marvin's Blood Machine, Glasswall, Del Harley, or we could do one of the other things that we looked at, or something else as well. We could do something completely different. You could do anything you don't mind. Okay. I've not got any ideas for Marvin's Blood Machine. Maybe the Brotherhood itself, given they connect to almost everything here. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I'm just gonna change Taangali history East Coast history, because like that's mostly what we're focusing on, isn't it? So Brotherhood of Steel. Not steel, sorry. Muscle. So the just like give me the spark notes or whatever the phrase is. What do you think we should include in this little what do we include in this little paragraph? Okay, one sec. While you do that, first, do you have any ideas for Marvin's Blood Machine? I want to get something down for this, but I don't know much. I don't have many ideas. If you could just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. A convoy of murderers and psychopaths is all we have at the moment, so can't think of anything. What kind of vehicle? They probably have. Just gonna start writing to these two because I have an idea of what I want these to be. Right. Ideologically opposed to Taangali. Ideologically opposed to glass wall. Emerging superpower within the region after the fall of the Taangali Empire. Attempting to claim more land and I'm a bit hot. So attempting to claim more land and gain more influence in the region. Thinking short-sightedly, not. I don't think your message came through. If you've already sent, unless it's on the Discord. I think like messages that are too long don't get sent. So maybe try sending it in the Discord or like half splitting the message into smaller chunks. Thinking short-sightedly and not what's it called? Reinforcing its borders for the coming conflicts. Okay, I'll send in chunks. We reached 10 followers, by the way, which is 2 streams, which is way faster than I ever expected. That's good. I'm glad to see that. I think short-sightedly and not reinforcing its borders for why are they called glass wall? That's a fun name. But there has to be something. There has to be like a reason. Maybe their walls are literally made of glass. But that raises many questions as to why. In long times past, there's been a few universal truths in the world, or any others. According to the Brotherhood of Muscle, the V8 was the best damn idea to ever exist. It's been born out of multiple volcanic eruptions. Oh yeah, perhaps volcanic eruptions produce some sort of glass cliff, or multiple volcanoes. Potentially. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can try and copy and paste your law dumps. So we've got one section so far. I'm gonna No, I don't think the second one did go through. Got the one that starts off since long time is past. Since time is long past, there's been few universal truths. We've got that one. Having been born out of a few outcasts of the pre-apocalypse society, this brotherhood lives and breathes all things ended, with the type of engineers dictating your rank from the puny peasant. From the puny peasant, two strokes to the king of kings as the supercharged bored out V8. I do like the sound of the Brotherhood. I think they're really fun. Like all these metalheads. Metalheads? Is that what? No, petrol heads. This group lives by the code of frontier justice and tries to bring just a little bit of hope to the open road. That's the open road that is the waste. The areas that they patrol are just a little bit safer and a little bit kinder. Because of it. Official name, the Brotherhood of Muscle. Common name, the Brotherhood Blade, Motor Town. Renamed Motor City at some point in the past 100 years. I've been learning about Detroit. Used to be called Motown or Motor City. National anthem, 4-wheel ride. Motto, may the saint of 8 guide you. Official languages, Common English, Old Taangali, Taangali Convoy Basic. Okay. Is Motor Town or Motor City, is that a reference to Detroit, perhaps? Yes. Okay. I thought so. That's fair enough, honestly. I'm gonna try and copy paste this in. Um, 11, 10. Predominant religions: combustion eternum, religious sects: the House of 5, the House of 1, the House of F, the House of R, and the House of E. Heretical. What does E mean? Electrical, electric engines. Capital state in Motor City, largest city state in Motor City, other notable city state: Eastport, 95th, 43rd, The Bridge. So yeah, E means electrical. So what does V, I, F, and R stand for? Yeah, no, we don't accept electric engines. What are you trying to do? Save the environment? No, we want the gas guzzling big American cars that make loud noises. Engine layout. I'm not familiar with engine layout. You don't have to explain them. I'll just assume you know what. You can just assume that you know what that they are engine layouts, but doing. Okay. 1 minute, not much more to go. V-shape, inline, flat, rotary, and electric. I'll just pretend I know it now. I'll probably research them later. But yeah, so I mean that's cool. Like having like different religious groups based on the type of engine. Okay, last message. Okay. I did not mean to click that. No highlight. There we go. So that's the Brotherhood of Muscle. Thank you for that, Lord Dump. That was nice to read. So, I mean, I can hear myself. What? 1 minute. Okay, I think that fixed it. I can't hear myself anymore, so that's good. Okay, so yeah, I saw more. This is just like notes. Sorry that it stopped you from posting the link, but anyway, so yeah, we can have a look at the we could have a look at the more in-depth law for them at some point, but let's see, like maybe I don't know, yeah, like a future stream if you wanted. But anyway, do we want to do glass wall and Del Harley? Because glass wall and Del Harley are quite connected in some regard, so we could probably do them together. And if you have any idea for Marvin's Blood Machine, I'd be more than happy to accept it. Nothing. Yeah, glass wall. So, Percival, you had an idea, didn't you, before? Volcanic eruption produced some form of glass cliff. Bob, what do you think of that? I think it's a nice idea, yeah. What do you think? So glass wall is an interesting name that just begs all sorts of questions. It's good. Yeah. We'll roll with it. Let's just go with that. A series of volcanic eruptions led to a what's it called? Formed a glass cliff. Is it stood on top of the glass cliff? Is it like surrounded by the glass cliff or next to it? It's like a glass wall, so it could be produced by a lava lake that cools into obsidian or other glassy substances. Then the containing rock erodes away, leaving the glass cliffs that encompasses the glade of glass. So you mean it's like in a valley or like covered at least on a couple of sides by the glass cliff, creating something resembling a wall formed created a large formation of glassy substances like obsidian, and as the containing rock eroded away, it revealed a glass cliff, let's say surrounding glass wall on 2 sides, 3 sides, let's say 2 sides for now, unless you think something else would work better or would make more sense. Effectively creating a wall between the city and the west. And between the city and the wastes and other glades and other city states. A lot harder to invade someone when they've got a massive glass cliff on 2 sides. Okay. A minute. So that we know why it's called. We know why it's called a glass wall right now, don't we? So that's fun. I like that actually. Now so. Anything else you want to write about glass wall? Because it's not much. It's like the start off notes that we could use to eventually build on that. But for now, it's not much. But if we're done with glass wall, we can work on GredtheAceAllay. Another emerging. The ideology post. What's the ideology? I have no idea. If we were feeling lazy, they could make glass for different applications. Ooh. The biggest export is, unsurprisingly, glass. I like that. Glass wall. A city with a glass wall that exports glass for walls. Emerging superpower. Rising superpower with the fall of the Taangali Empire. They too are foregoing reinforced boundaries to expand their influence in the region. Spreading themselves. GredtheAceAllay Empire, it's called. That could work actually. That could work. More thinly than they are otherwise capable. They are one of the more powerful successor states of the GredtheAceAllay Empire, declaring themselves to be the one true. One minute. Declaring themselves to be the one true successor. Their significant independence, even within the empire, allowed them to remain functional even after the collapse, and were quickly able to replace their logistics with the help of the Brotherhood. What do you think? So that with the collapse of an empire, it's difficult for anyone to hold on, really. It would be even more difficult to hold on if, instead of reinforcing your new borders, you decided to go and try and take as much territory as you can. You like it? Thanks. Anything else we could add? Okay. So if anyone has anything else to add, then you can just shout it at me or something. But now we have to get onto the one that I've been procrastinating all night. Marvin's Blood Machine. We've had like an hour and 3/4 and I still don't know what to put for this one. They could use blood to paint their cars. Okay. That's good. That's a start. They paint their cars with the blood of their enemies, and sometimes and often their friends and neighbors, and often their friends and neighbors. Yeah, what's it called? Banished, or were they exiled to the north, or did they flee to the north after or during the fifth, the High Point massacre? Because I could see it going either way. And presumably, whoever was massacring them wanted to finish the job. So we could say they fled to the. Can you see my message? Yeah. 1 second. Okay, so fled to the high north during the High Point massacre. Okay, I've got to do this thing. Not sure. Yeah. Okay, so fled to the high north during the High Point massacre. Would you say they probably lost a good chunk of their numbers? They had to flee for probably several generations to recuperate. So we could say like 50, maybe 50%, maybe higher, lower of their numbers. What's the High Point massacre? We have yet to figure it out. But once we do, that would have fled to the high north during the High Point massacre. Something like that. So yeah, they were almost annihilated, losing half their number in a matter of months. They stayed in the. Perhaps the cities that the convoy worked with betrayed. Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. The High Point massacre. Okay. After the 5 cities war and the bewildering 6th victory against Thunder Sharks, the 3 cities that had aligned themselves with the blood machine turned against it. During the war, they had tolerated the convoy's actions for the sake of victory. But now that it was over, they were disgusted by their actions, by their disregard for civilian casualties, bloodthirsty tactics. Get assistance. They get assistance on resolution mission for the war. Then after some big victory, far north or on mountain range, the CGs betray the convoy and try to kill them, or to gain more control of it. So do they do it for control, or do they do it for, like what I've put here? Someone's messages aren't coming through. That's not good. One minute. Nightbot. Timeout. I think we should switch to VC to make it easier. Like the problem is I don't think I can get VC to work on, like, with this streaming software I'm using. I don't know if I could make it work. So I can't see your messages, Don, but if you have anything, you can put them in the Discord. I have the notifications on, so I should see them. Sorry about that. I'll try and get it fixed for next stream. It's in high north. I think it might be easier to put in suggestions in the Google Doc. Oh, yeah. Good point. One second. I've stopped sharing something because I'm going to be sharing the link to this, and I don't know what you're going to see. Okay, copy link. It is nearly the end of stream though. There's 3 minutes left at this point. So I'm sorry about, I think it might be a bit late. So I'll just get this last sentence written out. We stayed in the high north to recruit to break their losses. Plotting to return. Okay, we've got a little bit there. I'm quite happy with what we've done today so far, actually. Still a lot to do. We've got, like, for some, we've got a little bit of detail. For other bits, like the Marvin's Blood Machine, we've got the startings of a note of a draft. Five Cities War, I think. Once we've figured out more about the Thunder Sharks and Marvin's Blood Machine, and maybe figure out what the 5 cities are that were involved, I think we'll be able to figure out a lot more of the details in that. But yeah, I think, let's just get a nice pretty picture on screen. There, that'll do. I think now that's it for tonight. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm sorry, Don, that we couldn't see your messages. I'll see if I don't know what's wrong, but if I can figure out what's wrong, I'll fix it. Thank you, Bolt and Persephone, for your input. I'll see you next week. Bye.